Blessings and gratitude, Three King Protocol family. We are back at it this week with another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about a lot, specifically the root chakra. I got my red root chakra I am hoodie on. If you guys have been feeling a little bit ungrounded, a little bit in fear this week, this video is for you. I've heard a lot of people on social media. I've heard a lot of people on social media talk about, man, the state of the world right now. It almost feels like it's a horror movie, or it feels like a lot of scary things are going on, crazy things are going on. We're coming close to the end. The illusion is starting to dissolve, and the world as we knew it, that is the illusion world. And when I say the illusion world, I'm talking about the politics, the actors, the TV, what you're seeing on the media. That isn't the real world. There's a difference. It isn't the truth. The truth will set you free. And the truth is about to come out. Now, there's some people ready for this and have been ready for this, and they've seen this coming. And there may be others watching who are not ready. But if you're watching this video right now, if you're tuned in with me, a Three King Protocol on this channel, just know I have a feeling you're ready. You've been hearing the calls, the protocol, and the call's answering. Right now is a time for sovereignty. It's a time for empowerment. It's a time for truth. And that's why you can sense the tension. You can sense the illusion starting to dissolve. That's why all these old programs and systems are starting to crumble. You see what looks like right now a crazy time. It's really coming close to that shift, the end. And that shift is going to be great, because when one thing comes to an end, that means something else is coming in to grow. Something else new is able to build. So if you're having any difficulty in your life right now, you feel like things are starting to crumble, you feel like you're losing a grip, you're losing control of a certain aspect of your life, of your reality, this may be a time to reflect and realize this may be a blessing in disguise for you, because a new foundation, a new seed is about to grow and blossom, and it's going to be amazing. Blessings are about to come into your life. But first, we have to get rid of what does not belong, what does not serve us. And right now, there's lots of things in our society and in our habits and our lives that we can often hold on to. You know, I want to talk about a little bit more about the end of the illusion. What do I mean by the end of the illusion? You see, if you're somebody who watches social media, is on social media in this age, everybody seems to be on social media. If you're somebody who listens to the news, watches the news, stays in tune with perhaps and follows the media, follows the movies that are coming out, the shows, the reality shows. You see, this is all a part of a reality that is, some may say, a false reality. Now, reality is reality, right? What you experience is based off of what you're tuned to, what your vibration you're on. So you cannot experience anything that you're not the vibration of. However, social media, the news, it's everywhere. And sometimes if you're not conscious enough to be able to discern and see what is truthful and what is not, you may find yourself falling for the trap. And when I say the trap, I mean the illusionary trap. The trap that you think because it's on a TV screen, you think because it's coming out of a credible person's voice, somebody who's wearing a suit and tie, somebody has a title. Somebody could be the president. Somebody could be a lawyer. Somebody could be a doctor. Now, these titles, you would think, give them some sense of authority or, truth, but in fact, it are these exact people who you need to watch out for. For anybody can tell the truth, anybody can tell a lie. And it just so happens that in our society, a lot of what makes up our daily media, a lot of what makes up our entertainment, from the shows that we watch, the movies that we've grown up to watch, the celebrities who everyone seems to be fans of, all of it is a false reality. And how far does it really go? It goes pretty deep. If you guys have seen the news recently about Jim Carrey, and he was supposedly reported to be receiving an award in France, a Lifetime Achievement Award. And if you're like many and you've seen the videos, you've seen his appearance, lots of people were scratching their heads. And lots of people felt like this was not really the Jim Carrey. And from my honest opinion, when I seen that, I knew exactly what was going on. And matter of fact, oftentimes the truth can be right in front of you in plain sight. And people will tell you the truth, but you don't always listen. You don't always hear because of the conditioning, because of the brainwashing. But Jim Carrey, even himself, has told you, has told us, this isn't him. That's not him. Jim Carrey has been known for speaking up against the illusion, against the false reality and perceptions that have been partly created by this media, this industry, for control, for control of a narrative, for control of people's attention. Because when you have some control over your attention, when you have some control over the people's attention and perception, that is power, that is influence. And he has many times spoken up against some of the major media outlets, and even going as far as saying how lots of media outlets will fabricate stories or even come up with stories that are meant to distract us. And when I say distract, what do I mean? It means they'll possibly create stories that might be truthful, but are really not important. And they'll push that while, meanwhile, behind the scenes, things that are a lot more important are going on. And there's plenty of people who you see on the media who are not who they really seem, and they have characters. They're all playing a character. They're all playing a role in a larger picture. And what is that larger picture? Today, we're going to talk about the big picture. And that big picture is your attention and your conscious state. Because like I mentioned before, your reality, what you perceive, what you experience in your reality is merely based off of the vibration and frequency that you are tuned to. So hence, you've heard of a television before, you hear of the media, you've heard of television stations. Which one are you tuned to? Think of it in terms of the universe. Think of it in terms of energy. Whatever energetically you're tuned to, you're thinking about, you're feeling, that is going to have a direct correlation to what you will experience. Hence, two people can experience the same exact moment in time, but yet feel completely different, and even describe that specific moment that occurred completely differently. So this is really about yourself. If you're watching this video, this is now a time to tune in to your intuition, to your feelings, to your power. And how can we do that? How can we really tune into our own power? It starts with giving ourselves, feeding ourselves the attention, the love that we deserve. And it has to stop with giving our power away. And oftentimes, subconsciously, we do give our power away to social media, the media outlets, because lots of media outlets, lots of stories go out there. If you just turn on the news, which I don't really watch the news, but besides, Instagram or some social media outlets, well, I will see the news. But if you turn on Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 4 news on your television, primarily many of those stories that come out are going to be what I like to call low vibrations, negative, bad news. Lots of times you'll hear killings, shootings, stories that are reported. You might not necessarily know if they're true or not, but they're reported and they are primarily negative. Very rarely will there be a positive story. And if it is, it's followed immediately by a series of negative news. Why is this? Some may argue it's because the more you are consciously watching and paying attention to negative news, your vibration is lowered. And when your vibration is in a negative state, a lower state, you are more easily controlled, you're more easily manipulated. Therefore, you're less likely to speak out against those who may be trying to have ulterior motives or influence over large masses of people. But at the end of the day, all of that stops when you make the conscious decision to say, hey, catch the lies, catch when your attention is drifting away to something that isn't serving you. So a couple years ago when Kendrick came up with that song and he performed in the Super Bowl and he said, shut the TV off, shut the TV off. What was he really implying? He was trying to tell the people that, hey, if you want to take back your power, if you want to feel empowered, it starts with first, stop giving your power away. Stop turning that power off. So today, I will be talking about how to take your power back. And like I mentioned before, I'm wearing my red root chakra hoodie. And the root chakra, what is the root chakra? And what is its purpose? What is its function? And how does that relate to what is going on in the world and what I'm speaking about now as far as the media and illusions? Your root chakra deals with fear and being grounded. Your root chakra is located at the base of your spine, and this is what deals with your basic necessities, your basic lively needs, and being grounded. When your root chakra is blocked, you'll experience states of fear, states of anxiety, states of nervousness. So this is why we need to ground ourselves. And oftentimes, a good way to ground ourselves is to pour into ourselves, to give ourselves what we need by first stop giving away what is not needed, or stop giving away our attention. It's hard to pour your cup full when you're constantly pouring it into other people's cups, when you don't have enough for your cup. So the first illusion is to understand it's not selfish to pour into your cup. It's not selfish to choose you first over others. As a matter of fact, that is the most thoughtful, most loving thing you can do, is choosing you first, because now the people who you love, the people who you care and who you think you're helping are actually going to get the best version of you. And now you can help the world truly more effectively with a higher vibration because you decided to choose yourself first. But when you're constantly trying to pour into many others' cups without making sure your cup is full, it's not going to work. There's not going to be enough to give to those others. And you're also operating from a low frequency, a low vibration. Hence, you will attract potentially low frequency experiences. That could be conversations. Others you might notice might be in a bad mood, might upset you because you're in a vulnerable state. So the root chakra, which deals with staying grounded. And this affirmation that you can see on my hoodie here, which you can get at 3kingprotocol.com, I am. I mentioned in my past video the powerful affirmation of I am. When you say I am, subconsciously you're telling your body, you're telling your cells, you're setting the tone for what you're going to be feeling. I am loved. I am grounded. I am safe. I am abundant. Speak these affirmations out every day. Every day. Just like anything in life, if you want something to improve, it takes practice, it takes repetition. But begin to feel how you feel when you start speaking these affirmations. At first, they might seem silly, they might seem uncomfortable if you've never said these out loud before. But if you continue to make it a habit, notice the shift because your body listens to you. Every cell in your body is conscious. And it's been proven scientifically that you can heal your body by talking to it, by speaking to it. You can't heal something that you don't know is sick or you don't know where in your body is healed. But say you're having some pain in your lower back. Speak to it. Say, hey, lower back. I feel your pain. I'm feeling hurt, but I notice you and I'm starting to feel better. You see, even if you're feeling pain, just by saying, I'm starting to feel better, your frequency just changed. You went from, oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. This thing is killing me. People say that so many times and they don't realize that the words coming out of their mouth are literally casting spells. You see, there's a reason why it's called spelling. When you're writing out words, it's because you're literally casting spells. Because the words that come out of your mouth have an effect on space-time. They have an effect on your reality. They can change your reality. You can uplift somebody or you can tear somebody down with your own voice, which are literally words, frequencies that come out and out into the world. So your body, everything in this universe is energy, it's frequency, including your body. So if you want to heal your body, you need to understand that your words have an effect on your health, on your life, on your family, on your whole reality. So you have to be mindful of what you're saying, what's coming out of your mouth, because what you get is what you give. What comes out of your mouth is going to come back to you. You know, we've all heard it growing up. Treat others the way you want to be treated. But it goes even further than that, down to a molecular level. Everything you see is conscious. There was one time I was laying down in my room and I was thinking about this. I said, I've heard everything in this universe is conscious, even items, even objects, even this sound bowl, my sneakers, this table, everything is conscious. I've heard this in class before, and I've heard this in many studies and heard of this before. But one day I was laying in my room and I was laying down just under my desk and I noticed there was like this yardstick, which I know is, I don't know, ask me, why do I have a yardstick in my room? I can't tell you. Sometimes I sell clothes, I'll measure stuff out. But anyway, the yardstick was like on my shelf, kind of leaning off of it, but it was still on the desk. And I was thinking, because I was laying down on the floor on the rug, and I was looking at the yardstick and I was thinking, wow, so if everything is conscious, that means the yardstick is conscious. And I was thinking, what does that really mean? Can the yardstick talk? Can the yardstick really have an effect on my reality? It's really conscious. So as I was laying there, and I was literally focusing in on this yardstick in deep thought, thinking, is this a real living thing? And I kid you not, as I'm laying down, the yardstick, whether it was a little bit on the edge of my desk, it fell down and it hit me right in my face. And when that happened, I smiled and I said, wow, that yardstick is conscious. It heard me and it decided to fall down. Something, I don't know what it was, if it was a sign or it was just the energy, the consciousness, it fell down, hit me flat in my face. And in that moment, I was like, wow, just me thinking about that and asking, man, is this yardstick really conscious? Yardstick hit me right in the face. So I say that story to tell you that just the little things, your items, your clothes, if you start to treat everything in your life as if it's conscious, now everything can be working with you and for you. If you treat it with respect and you treat it with love and you help treat everything like that, like it's conscious, imagine how much of an effect it's going to have to help you. So a lot of times when we subconsciously treat others poorly, or we disrespect others, or we don't treat others with respect, we don't realize that's only like treating ourselves disrespectfully, because we're all interconnected in this consciousness field. So anytime you disrespect someone else, the only one you're really hurting is not only that person but yourself. And it all comes around. You can call it karma, you can call it the law of attraction, but we're all one consciousness. And that one consciousness is interconnected from the smallest atom in the universe to the largest planet. Everything is connected. If you look at an eye and you look at a carrot, or you look at a universe and you look at lightning, you look at trees, you look at veins, it's all connected. It all appears symmetrical because everything in this universe is divine, and it's proof that there is a creator, and that creator we are part of, each and every one of us. So when you hear somebody speaking about God, asking about God, you have to realize that you are a part of God. Every single one. No one is separate from God. We are all connected. And this is something that the ancients spoke about. This is something that Jesus, Yeshua, spoke about. He said, I am the way. Be like me. He said he is embodying Creator, God. And that is pure love. Pure love, pure creation. That is what we are. So in this time right now, if you're on social media and you're noticing your algorithm is filled with hatred, filled with war, filled with violence, chaoticness, things falling apart in government and society, that is a sign that it's time for you to realize what old things that don't no longer serve you are falling apart in your life. Because listen, just because one thing falls, that doesn't mean that something else that's even greater is on the rise. When one thing falls, that's an opportunity for something else to come back around. So the faster as a collective we can let go of the false sense of control and power that anything, and when I say anything, anybody, it can be somebody else who you think has power over you. It could be a government, it could be a friend, it could be a spouse, it could be anything. The second we let go of that mentality, that mindset of fear, and we ground ourselves. How do we ground ourselves? We ground ourselves by pouring into our cup, by saying affirmations, by doing things that give us power, give you power. Not by giving away your power, but by giving you power. And when you do that, when everyone does that, we are going to see the shift. We're going to feel the shift and see just how powerful we really are. And that's when our real powers come online, because we are really superhumans. We really have more than 5 senses. You hear a lot in school, we have 5 senses. We have more than 5 senses. You have your intuition. There's whole dimensions out here, guys. There's a whole dimensions out here, guys, that we're not perceiving. But the second we raise our vibration, I'm telling you, we're all going to experience heaven on earth, because heaven is not a place in the sky. It's not a place out there. It's not a place with a gate that you have a key. If anything, the key is you. You are the key. Tesla once said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe. Think in terms of frequency, energy, vibration. Raise your frequency. Be in control of your energy. And you will raise your vibration, and your reality will go from here to here, and then some. So guys, thank you for staying here. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this video helped to raise your frequency. And if you enjoyed this content, please leave a like. Subscribe to our channel for more videos coming soon. And I will catch you guys. Peace, love.